Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser. Wednesday morning, back to being the greatest dad. I was quite the greatest dad this weekend, actually, showing people how to get your beer on at the beer fest. To both girls at once for once, not that Layla is 21. But yes, a lot to drink over after yesterday's game. We'll talk about it all. Adri is in the house, and we have Gary back in action from Crossing the Pond. And if you are not following it yet, on our new channel, where it's Gary, myself, and Chris. For now, until we have others join as well, EPL Across the Ponds. We had a couple of episodes going there last night as well. Alan is already in the house. Good morning, sir. We lose. The streak is over, kind of like an ugly fashion. I don't know. I'm a bit angry about this one. I usually am more like disappointed, sad, frustrated, but this one made me angry. Then I saw the post-match comments. I made me even more angry because I am not understanding a lot of things. So we'll discuss that. But Audrey, did you get to watch the game in full? What did you think?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Gary, Timu, and just to start in a positive note, it's my birthday month, so nothing
Birthday
is
month.
gonna nothing is gonna screw my yes. I wanna call it like that. And I mean, oh man, Liverpool. What to say? We really try to keep with the good things on Wednesdays mornings. But it's been pretty hard. It's just getting harder. But we cannot say like Wolves, like really Wolves. Well, listen, they crushed Aston Villa and Arsenal, two of the five top teams right now in the league in the past 2 weeks. So they have been in a good note too, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we've been terrible, but like, eh, you know?
I think, that's the part. Like, everybody's like, oh, they're like dead last and stuff. I'm not as concerned about like where they're in the table because I don't, like Gary, I don't see any games. On paper, a game might be easy, but like I just said, Arsenal went over there and lost points. Villa lost points. A little lost, actually, lost all the points. But it's just the manner it happens more than anything else to me because I'm trying to, at the same time, within results, try to see little positive things to build for the future, kind of a deal, trying to be positive. Yeah, I mean, I could not find a lot to get positive on this one.
We can talk about Wolves and how they're on like a little mini resurgence and Rob Edwards has got them playing, but it just sounds like an excuse, doesn't it? And the reality of it is, he should be winning. He should be winning that game. And like, I've got my little mug this morning. I don't think this mug has ever been so appropriate. It just says rise and sigh. Like, literally, you wake up this morning, you're like, oh, come on, like Wolves. You think to yourself, and the worst thing about it is we've got to go back there on Friday. That's what gets me. I'm like, okay, well, what's Friday going to be like? Please don't, like, because if we get beat on Friday as well, it's like, oh, you got done in the league and then you get done in the cup. My biggest thing, and I'm going to get slated, and I always try and stay positive, like Adri says, and in a weird way, watching your shorts, Adri, on Instagram of how you comment on the goals in the games just actually does cheer me up. So in the way that when I see Frimpong score a goal and he has this big smile on his face, it just cheers me up and it fills me day with joy. They're the things that I'm clinging on to right now, because the fact that what he said at the end, I'm sure we'll get to it, but what he said in the press conference at the end, I don't know, it's a bit of a stretch. There's so many questions. It asks so many more questions than it answers for me.
That's my problem there. Like Wayne says, we have to get the manager out. This is very poor for us. And, I've tried to like back the manager, and I still feel like, you don't sack the manager now. You're going to finish out the season. But looking long term, I'm so confused when the manager comes out after the match. I think this made me more angry. That during the game, you can get angry at maybe like the players' performances and some of the managerial decisions as well, right? But after the match, when he says like that we have problems going against low block and we've always cited blah, blah, blah. which I get. I mean, we had the same problem during the Klopp era. I mean, I know Wayne is saying Klopp, but we had the same exact problem in the Klopp era. And then we brought Thiago. They were like, he's going to open up back low blocks and stuff. So, like, we've always had this problem. That's fine. But at halftime, he says, we showed the guys that if they move the ball around faster, like we can create and stuff. I mean, I guess my thing is, we wasted an entire half. We did not do shit the entire first half. Slow as hell passing. I mean, I think you can ask anyone, any coach. You can ask a freaking high school coach. When I ref him next month, I'll go ask him, what do you do against a low block? I guarantee you, every single one of them, Adri, is going to say, you got to move the ball around fast side to side. It should not take slots 45 minutes. Leave alone that a meeting at halftime with the players to show them, hey, if we move the ball from side to side fast, we can really open up a defense and stuff. Because first of all, when you go away to Wolves, you know what the hell you're going to play against. So isn't this like the game plan going into the game, knowing, hey, they're going to do low block, and this is how we attack low block? I just got like ridiculously pissed off when he says, yeah, we showed them that if you move the ball from side to side faster. I'm like, who are we showing what? And why are we waiting? Shouldn't that be something in the 5th minute he yells to the pitch, fucking faster, so that we don't have to waste another 40 minutes until halftime?
I want to talk about like what Virgil said. I have it here. He was like, it's down to ourselves. We were slow, predictable, sloppy in possession, and wrong decision making. So when Slot says these type of things, like, I've told them, it's kind of like, I cannot freaking play for them. And in the very first half, everything that Virgil was so obvious. It was like, why are they doing? Why are they doing it? Like, what's going on? So at this point, I don't know. Especially with this game against Wolves, I don't know if talking about percentage, how responsible it's the Slot for it. Only this guy. I know that like his interview is confusing because it's like, okay, what? So that you keep saying the same things. You haven't bring us any new information about like what the team is still doing the same shit. But it matched what Virgil said and what the game was, right? It's like their own freaking decisions. Probably it's a lack of communication. They don't get the message. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it says slot out, but problems aren't just coaching. Players don't seem to want it as much. Wayne says Rio. We'll talk about Rio a little bit. I think we saw exactly why Rio is not playing 45 minutes personally. In the period I saw exactly why he's not, because he single-handedly started 3 counterattacks for Wolves. And if another 5 minutes, Robertson was going to slap him, I thought, because making the old man run over and over the overlap and not giving him the ball once is not a recipe for getting more minutes. Because, I mean, Robertson was, and constantly getting Robertson out of defensive position, then giving the ball away to start a counter. I thought we saw exactly why Rio does not play more minutes yet or is not ready for it. But the players don't seem to want it as much. What do you think, Gary? I mean, it just felt like, I mean, I agree with Adri and Van Dijk. It is predictable, but that's been like, I can pause any frame and show it to you, and you'll tell me this is what they're going to do now. This is what they're going to do now. I think Wirtz is the only guy that we were, and then he's out. He's the only guy we were like, well, we used to do that with Coutinho. Like giving the ball, I'm like, well, do something. Like, do something different. And then, like if whatever he did, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't work, it didn't work. We lost the ball and stuff. Now we're doing that with Wirtz, but defeats the purpose of having a midfield that's better on the ball, like McAllister, Gravenberg. That's not what you had before. So how much of this, my famous blame pie, what kind of a slice are you giving to the players?
It's got to go both ways. But I mean, I had a couple of things written down on this, and I think it goes back to a couple of people have popped it up there about the way things were with other managers. But like the stat that gets me, I'm in a group chat with a lot of different people because, you know, being in the US, you're friends with different people from different clubs, sadly, and you probably wouldn't be friends with them if you didn't live in America. But I had a Chelsea friend text me this morning, and it's true as well. Like, it is legit. Like, Liverpool have given away 5 last-minute winners in games this season, and that's the most ever in a Premier League season. And we've still got 10 games left. And I think me looking at it from the, you know, my not full expert opinion is we used to attack games. Like, you look at Brendan Rodgers, even look at Jurgen Klopp. We would go for teams out of the gate. We have this much more pragmatic approach now with Slot. And the problem with it is, if it works, it's great. Like West Ham at the weekend, we were 3-0 up at half time and you're like, right, perfect. But when it doesn't work and you think about things like Forest, you think about what happened last night, it becomes frantic at the end of the game. And then the decision-making is more frantic, which leads to more frantic things happening on the back end. Like, think about the games where they've given away last-minute goals. Bournemouth, Wolves last night. There was, you know, there's obviously others. There's been 5 of them. But I just think that we're not proactive enough. And I think that does come from the coach. I think, you know, if you want to start on the front foot, listen, everyone's going to play against the low block against us. They always have. So what can we do differently to get ahead of that? Like, what can we do to break that down? And I don't think it is as simple as passing it side to side. Like, you look at the impact that corner kicks have had. Liverpool have got the most amount of corners scored since Christmas or the holidays in 2026. So why can't we, listen, why can't we change it up a little bit every now and again? Just, you know, play a higher ball, put players around the ball higher up the field and give ourselves a chance just to vary things up, because it is, the mindset is at the moment, right? Okay, listen, we'll play compact, we'll pack it in and we'll see what Liverpool do. And if it works, it works and it looks great. And especially with people like Wirtz now, who's getting better. But I don't think the onus is on that from the get-go. It's like, we're going to try and do what we're going to do. And if it works, great. But there's a lot of times it's not working for whatever reason. Call it personnel, call it missed chances. Like, we had a lot of chances yesterday. You know, I think we had 18 shots over the course of the game. I mean, what type of shots they were remains to be seen. Like, someone can hit one from 30 yards into the goal and the goalie can throw his cap on it and it still counts as a shot. But it's just, are we being proactive enough in games? And I don't think we are. And I think that's the biggest problem. We're letting it get to the 90th minute or the 80th minute and it just becomes madness then, frantic. But I agree with Adri, like, the players, it shows a united front because it shows that the manager and the players are on the same wavelength and they're all holding each other accountable. But at the same time, that doesn't mean to say that we can't do something about it and change it maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, preferably do it not when you have halftime and wait 45 minutes to change something. That's the part I didn't understand. I mean, did it really take Van Dijk 45 minutes to see that? Because I could have told them that's 10 minutes in. I mean, if they need, I'll give them my number and they can give me a call, because it was very obvious what was going on. And yeah, like Wolves basically said, we'll sit down. And, you know, like, we had those chances. Everybody will talk about the chances we got in the second half. The only reason we got chances in the second half is Wolves' plan was, we'll sit down, let them have the ball. Maybe we'll get something on the counter, maybe we won't. We'll do that for like 70 minutes or so, and then we'll give it a go, see what happens. And when they give it a go, I mean, and I understand why they do that, because if they do that from the beginning, you see at the end of the half, at the end of the game, how we create more chances. If they did that early, we would create more chances in the first half. But the only reason we started creating chances was, Adri, is they started coming out. They were trying to see if they can win the game now. If Wolves was, I don't know, 16th and a draw was going to be fine, I think we were going to watch the whole, like, the same damn thing for 90 minutes straight, because then Wolves did not have an incentive to win.
Yeah. I just want to go back to one thing that Gary said about, like, Liverpool being proactive. This is something that I saw this game, and I don't know if they're just a stick to something that Slot has been telling them, and they've been trying to make it work. Obviously, it's not working, so you can see them doubting every movement. Like, they doubt every movement, the accuracy of, like, every pass or any movement. It's null. probably because they are not sure about like doing it, and that's why even like when they're trying to make a shot, it goes away, or they don't. I even saw Mo Salah in a he was just straight to the net, and he didn't know what to do. I think I like just a couple of times I've seen him so confused. He was like, should I just go to like make a pass, go straight, do this, like, and that's the entire behavior that the team it's been having, and it's it worries me, like, and especially because you just said something, Tim, when it's a Wolves, it was kind of predictable. It
Yeah.
was supposed to be, and it was a low block, like, you know, and nothing happened. They were waiting exactly the right moment to not even take the ball, but just as the second goal, our mistake. Allison just
Yeah.
practically gave them the ball, you know, and that's it. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. So it's just weird that we're just trying to do everything, but like in the wrong way, because we're doing nothing as much as you try to do, but like in such
Yeah.
a disorganized way, it's doing nothing, wasting energy. And then Wolves was just there, like, okay, mistake, boom, goal.
I mean, the lack of confidence definitely shows. I mean, that's like a big thing there. Omar is in the house, and he's a United supporter, so take that with a grain of salt when he's telling us what. I think he's just trying to make things worse over here, because I do not agree to this. Honestly, watching the game, first of all, Chiesa, even Liverpool fans finally have stopped saying, why is Chiesa not getting more minutes? Because I think we're seeing it. Like, he just looks so lost out there. It is just unreal. It looks like if they put me out there, I'd be very happy to be wearing the Liverpool jersey, being out there, and I would run my ass off, but it would make no sense. It will look awkward. That's how it looks right now, unfortunately. It's definitely not the Chiesa from, everybody remembers, was that a Euro or a World Cup or whatever, where he was like, basically, he was Italy by himself kind of a deal. It's not definitely that guy. But Mo yesterday, I know Gakpo gets all the blame nonstop for some unknown reason. He's the new, I was selling it on Monday, he's like the new Lovren. Like, where if he's in the vicinity, anywhere near the crime scene, it's Gakpo's fault somehow. I thought he was a lot, not that he was great. I agree with Omar. The wing play has been bad, Gary, but he was definitely a lot better than Gakpo. And I thought that when the subs come in, really, if it's not Mo, if it was anybody else, it would probably be, I felt Frimpong will have to come out anyway. He's not going to do 90. So I was expecting Gomez and like Rio coming in for that side. But instead we saw, because looks like Rio has to come with a defensive back behind him. So we saw Robertson and Rio come in because we didn't want to mess with Rio and Kirkes. And I would argue we might have been better off because we ran Robertson like an idiot, overlapping constantly that Rio did not use. But I think Wayne was mentioning earlier about like the Mo thing and stuff. Where are you at with Mo right now? I mean, it does feel like the writing is on the wall for the summer and stuff, but where are you at with our wingers, Gary? Both of them, I guess, Mo and Gakpo.
I mean, the comment from Omar, I mean, fair play to Omar for coming onto a Liverpool show and being so, what should we say, diplomatic, maybe?
Yeah, because I agree with his points. Like,
yeah, I don't disagree with him either.
Good, we suck, and once we're good, United sucks.
Yeah, and I think if you've actually been to a game or watched a game live and seen either of these two lads, like Chiesa's not the answer, and it's Mo Salah. Like, think about players that have played at a club for maybe a little bit too long. You know, Mo Salah's a Premier League legend. He's a Liverpool legend. He will be, no matter what's happened on and off the field in the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Like, and the problem is, it's like, you know what he can do. And he's only 6 months, a year removed from what he was doing. So you're like, you've got to keep going with him. Like, but he's too inconsistent this season. I think he's been found out a little bit. The kid Rio, listen, I don't disagree, but again, it's like he's young and he's not. There's certain parts of his game that are great, and there's certain parts of the game that get people off seats, right? And that's why people are That's why people are putting in the comments that Rio should start, and Gerrard's coming out and saying Rio should be getting time and this, that, and the other. But you've got to look at the full player. Again, we don't know what's happening in training.
Yeah.
Like if a player's, listen, Rio can do a couple of step overs, beat a guy and put a ball in the box and it looks great. But like you said, is he doing it in the wrong areas? Like he's give the ball three times yesterday and there's counter attacks straight away. Like it, what's the full package doing there? And like Adri kind of alludes to, if there is such an emphasis on a way of playing, is he doing that? Or is he sort of a luxury? It's a tough one, isn't it? Because he comes on and he does stuff because he changes the game against Forest. No question. Yeah. No question. But again, yesterday, did he have that much of an impact? I don't know. Gakpo, I feel bad for him, but I said this, didn't I say this? Or I think one of us said this a couple of weeks ago when I was on around this. Gakpo shouldn't be starting. Gakpo's a squad player. And for like Man United purposes, you think about squad players that were at United, that wingers that came on and did a job. Nani, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Nani was a bit more successful, but Gakpo scores goals. Like I just don't think we have it. I don't think we have the players. And that's why, like, when you look back at losing Luis Diaz for me is one that I just can never get my head around.
Oh,
because I loved him.
Gonna get Adri going.
Well, I'm just trying to post
I
it
know,
there.
I know.
But
I saw that. She already moved in her seats. Like when you.
She was reading the notes and her eyes came up as soon as I said it.
I think that's why people. I mean, we're talking about this on Monday night on the podcast. Like, he is more of a winger. Like Omar is like throwing out a bunch of names, and I think those are those kinds of wingers, right? I think we're more used to, especially on the left-hand side, having a winger that we can give the ball to, and he can attack players a lot more, and then like go at him, and it's more fun to watch, right? Like look at like when Rio gets the ball. Yes, it's fun to watch, but I think being a young kid, his age, his experience, he does not have the tactical awareness, situational awareness to know when to go at the defender. Diaz did not go at the defender if the overlap was already there and he was going to get everything exposed behind him. There was literally nobody in that left lane 3-4 times in the second half when Rio attempted a tackle. He attempted to get past somebody. And here's the thing, maybe he gets his minutes against U21s where he's probably looks like, even though they're older than him, it looks like he's probably playing for with 10-year-olds. I won't watch full games, but I see a lot of highlights where he dives into 3 guys and he comes out the other side and scores and stuff. It's a little bit too easy, but I mean, he is closer to Diaz, right, Adri? That's why everybody wants to see him, because he is more attacking, he's more dangerous, he's more quick, he can kind of like challenge a right back and stuff. But when you watch him, it does still feel like he's just not ready. I can see when I look at him why he's not playing more, or he's not starting. And honestly, the only reason, going back to what Gary is saying, the only reason people constantly say Rio is there's really no other option. We don't like what we're seeing, and we're looking at the bench, and we're like, how about him? Put him in, kind of a thing. If it was anybody else, I think we'd be going for him.
I feel the thing about Rio, and what I've noticed is he's maybe too anxious, probably. I think that's the word. And it's just so hard to get into a team. And he probably feels as the savior, especially with all the things that people has been saying lately. So when he goes to the pitch, probably he's like, oh, like, okay, I have to score. I have to do this right. I have to, And when you're not backing from your team, because obviously when he goes into the game, we're not, like, most of the time we haven't been in a great position.
Yes.
Right? It's like you're going there to try to fix this with all your mates. And that's a lot of pressure for someone that young. And if you're getting, like, Chiesa sort of knew how to deal with it, and he was doing it great, not anymore. But just imagine that with a 17, 18-year-old kid, I think that's a lot of pressure. And maybe a couple of kids in the past, I think we were trying to not compare him with anybody else, like Messi or something, but they handled it in their moment. is not the case of Rio. Like, is especially with the lack of order in our game, because we need someone that go, if they're trying to fix something, we need a person, a player that comes with something brilliant
Yeah.
and to try to save the game. And Rio hasn't been that person, you know? And yeah, I he's too anxious, too young, and not ready for, like, to take all the pressure of trying to save the team, which is what
Yeah.
people has been trying to tell about him. Like, he's gonna be like, he needs to play the entire game. And no.
Yeah, he's been thrown into that situation, which is probably not fair on him. So he's coming, and I think when you don't get a lot of minutes, I mean, if you've ever like been a sub, when you come in, you're trying to get, if you're getting 50 minutes, you're trying to get like a 90-minute tape almost in a 15-minute slot over there, and you're trying to kind of like sometimes overdo things. But Trevor was saying, by the way, thanks all for the comments. If you're watching us live right now, which there's a bunch of you, so good morning to everybody, or good afternoon if you're on the other side of the pond. Hit that like. I always forget to say it, but it does really help a lot. It gets some other poor soul to be exposed to this. If you hit the like now, they'll be like, who the hell are these guys? But yeah, I mean, look, the Diaz thing, the Kwanzaa thing, I think when it's happened at the time, I didn't have a big problem with it, just because I know Adri did. But I didn't have a big problem with it because the money and everything made sense. But you have to have an alternate plan, Gary, because when you're removing something like that, and if you thought you didn't want to block Rio's way, I agree with people saying he should have been getting 10-15 throughout, so that we don't do what Adri is saying now, where he is, we're breaking glass and taking Rio out of there, and that's not fair. If we're really trying to protect the kids, which I think we are, then I think we're almost making it worse on him. And for all these people saying, oh, look what Klopp did with the young guys, where are those young guys now? I think you have to bear that in mind. You have to think more long-term, because for every Yamal, there is like another couple of thousand young guys you never ever hear from again after they make like 2-3 appearances. So you want to be careful, Gary, but I think by being over the top careful, we might have made it worse for him somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Like you say, and there's been that much chatter now. Like when he has a performance, like after the Forest game the other day, people were raving, weren't they? That there was people putting Twitter comments, and the thing was as well, I don't know if you noticed this, he was responding to them as well. Like,
I did not know.
There was like little thanks, you know what I mean, like little thankses, and you're like, yeah, like cheers. But the thing is as well, that shows you that. Again, that could be, I don't know, that could be the power of social media messing with me here and AI and all that. But from what I gathered, it was like he was responding a little bit, like just thank you and appreciate it and this, that, and the other. That shows that he's checking up on it. So if he's checking up on it, and it's hard, I mean, it must be a nightmare now as a professional athlete. I mean, it's hard enough as a kid and an adult not to get drawn in by whatever's going on in the media. Like the pressure on him now, because he thinks, okay, all these people think this of me. Okay, I've got to go on and do a job. And if he's only going on sporadically in games, with this expectation, is that something that is weighing on him? And you've got to think it is, because again, he's a 17-year-old. What is he, 17, 16?
17, I think now.
Yeah, so I mean, 17. It's...
Yeah, 17.
You think, and this is the thing that always gets me, and it's going to come to a point this season, I think. But I remember when Michael Owen came through at the end of the 90s, and everyone was raving about this kid that was in the youth team, and we'd won the Youth Cup and all this, and we had this kid Michael Owen, and even he didn't start a ton of games, but he came in towards the end of the season. And granted, Liverpool were, for want of a better word, shite at the end of the 90s, and but he came in and he did a job, and he come in, he'd 10 minutes, he'd get a goal, and then everyone was raving. And then from then he just flew. I don't know if Liverpool can do that, because it's, because we're in such a race for these Champions League spots, it's not like you can tank. They do it in America, don't they, where you tank the season and they can put him in. Like you can put him in for half an hour, 45 minutes every game. I just don't think we can risk doing that just yet. But then it's the double-edged sword, isn't it? It's like, You don't play him, he doesn't get the experience. You do play him, you're risking a knock-on effect. And at what point do we just throw him in? And I know you're asking questions. I'm kind of answering a question with a question, but it's like at what
I think
point?
we put ourselves into that situation. That's my point. Like if you were, earlier in the season, if he was coming in, and I know we never had a comfortable season from the get-go. Like even when we were winning, we won the first 5 games, but they were all in the 80th minute, 89th minute, 90th minute. So you never were winning games comfortably where you can like throw them in there and say, okay, why don't you go get 5-10 minutes, get a run outs like we did a lot with like Neoni and stuff. So like Tommy says, I just do not agree with this. That he did more than Gakpo in terms of going at people, but go back and watch those last 15-20 minutes. He started single-handedly 3 to 4 counterattacks for Wolves because of where he lost the ball. And I think, and I was going to ask you that, Gary, because you're the resident coach over here. It feels like he has to come in with Robertson or he has to play in front of Gomez. We don't want him playing with an aggressive back because maybe he's not going to use that overlap. But yesterday we were chasing the game. So Robertson is doing the overlap because we're trying to get numbers. He kind of does not use them. He cuts inside into the crowd, loses the ball. Now that left lane is open. So that by design now we're sending him with a back that's defensive?
Well, maybe that's the argument then, isn't it? Maybe the argument now can be, does he start the game when we're a little bit more passive and you can give him the freedom to go at people? Maybe that's the move instead. Like if you want him to flourish, he has that safety net of having a solid defensive-minded. So I've seen the same comment just popped up for some reason, but it's just
I can see the comments. Oh my God! I just realized I can see the comments.
Welcome to the century, Adri.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, Gary. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. But I'm like, if you have a defensive-minded player behind you at the beginning of the game, and we are, like we said then, it's a little bit more passive at the beginning. Maybe he has the freedom to go at people early in the game, because you're right. You need someone like a Joe Gomez. I almost think he'd be better on the right as well, because he'd go at people, and he did it at Forest. But bring him on the left, right footers are always going to defer. I still think he's got that. He's always going to come onto his right, which invites the overlap, which then leaves you exposed unless a midfielder drops in. But when we're chasing a game like we chase a game, it's not going to happen. You almost need it to be a structured right. Listen, play on the right. We'll put Joe Gomez or whoever behind you who's a structured right back, and you license to go at people, beat people on the outside. I'm sick. It's that thing. I'm sick of watching wingers cut in now. I want a winger to beat someone on the outside and put a cross in, whether they're That's why I like Frimpong over there. Yeah. He's a right-footed player playing right wing and goes at people and just fizzes balls across the box or pulls them back. Like I really enjoy watching that. It's like a proper, when you think about wingers, I'll talk about John Barnes all day, because John Barnes used to do it, and that's why when I first started watching Liverpool in the 80s, and that's what I loved about it. Proper wingers beating players and putting crosses in. But it's just
a lost art.
It really is. Like, I mean, there's always joke. You see those joke memes at the moment, don't you? Like 80s wingers and 90s wingers used to do this, and it was beating the player. And then now wingers will look up, take a touch, go back, play it into midfield and start all over again, which is kind of what happens when you're playing inverted. I'd love to see him play as a right winger, but to the point, maybe he starts. Maybe that's the answer.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point, actually. That's a good point in terms of it would relieve the pressure we're talking about. Like, you're not there to win the game, but then, does he play differently knowing he's there for at least 45 minutes? You got to figure until at least halftime, and then a bit more responsible situation-wise, where he's not risking everything to be the hero and he's playing within the system and stuff. And that might be something actually we do see. And I think this is one reason. I think Tommy is right over there that Frimpong can do that because he can beat you to the line, which Gakpo did it a couple of times. But the problem with playing the right-footed guy on the left is, like you say, I mean, these guys are obviously a lot better, but I used to use my left foot just to stand on. Everything went through the right. So if it's on the left, you're like, nope, kind of have to turn around the ball and get it to the right. I think a lot of these guys are the same way. I mean, Mo does not trust the speed, rightfully so, to beat somebody down the line, it feels like, because he does get like muscled off the ball. So everybody now knows he's going to cut in, and he has become. I know, like Tommy's saying, for example, he can't watch Gakpo anymore. And I hear this from a lot of fans, but honestly, and I have been a Gakpo apologist. There was like this short just came out, me saying that I'm a Gakpo apologist. Because you look at yesterday's game, I know you can't take Mo out, Adri, because there are some players where, like, the only reason Mo doesn't come out is because he's Mo, and he might do something that might change the game. Like, if Pirlo sucks, you still have to keep him in the game because he might do that one thing that wins you the game. Like, he's that kind of player. There are certain players that are like, yeah, he's shit, but he can win a game 1 second. All you need from him is 1 good second, and he can win you the game. But you look at yesterday, I would argue you look at the last 4 or 5 games, but definitely yesterday, everything came from the left. The first half, we did nothing from the right. We kind of kept going back. Frimpong and Mo, I kind of wanted to see that tandem in action. Now I don't want to see it anymore after yesterday because it did not work at all. But I feel like we're harping way too much on Gakpo, whereas we're not really doing anything on the right-hand side.
It's just unfair, as I think you're trying to say, just to put all the weight in one player. Or it's just so easy. It's just so easy as a journalist or as a fan to point at 2 people, or to point at one, or at the coach, or at the game from yesterday. It was collectively terrible. It's so easy to read, even for me, honestly. Like, you can tell everyone was just lost, and exactly all the eyes are on the left side. And Gakpo, I do not like the guy, but this morning, actually, I swear to God, I woke up and I was like, gotta be horrible to be Gakpo and to feel like, man, I'm giving everything that I have for this team, and those people there hate me. I'm really trying here. It's kind of like not my fault. I'm doing my best. And he looks, I mean, we're giving the ball. We are that bad that we're giving the ball to probably the slowest person in the team to try to find a solution. He's really he never had this ability of just like coming back and forward fast.
Yeah.
And I think Slot is trying to give him that task. And it's been like almost a year, and he doesn't get like the message. But what else he's gonna do? Who else he's gonna put there? When, first of all, it was kind of the only one that can just try to be at that side. He's not there right now. So, and Luis Diaz, of course, like, either. So what is he gonna do? And from the other side, I think, yes, we just got tired of talking about like Salah. And I remember, speaking of excuses, I remember Mo telling something about like, it's just I don't have Trent, or it's just hard for me to try to guess or to understand the game of the new people. Well, brother, it's time. It's like, time is clicking. What are we gonna do? Like, no, it's time to start putting the eyes and being. In Colombia, we say that mira quirúrgica. So it's just like, look at every single player and the coach to see where every single mistake could have been like done in a different way, so it wouldn't be a mistake, but like something.
Yeah, I mean,
accurate.
both goals. Really, they didn't even have freaking chances before that. It's like freaking like really aggravating because like it's Van Dijk. He probably gets shouldered off too easy, but I don't know why Konate comes all the way to back up. It would be one thing if Konate came all the way to back up like Frimpong against a physical player or something like that. But if Konate stays a bit further to his side, to his guy, instead of trying to double up the guy with Van Dijk, that's not even a situation. And then you were talking, Adri, in the last goal. Everybody was talking about Curtis Jones giving the ball to Ali for a poor clearance. But this is like, that's the perfect example of we pick on certain players for the mistakes, Gary, as opposed to just looking at it and be like, there was nothing wrong there. Yes, Jones could have cleared it, but normally that's fine. That we'll be like, if anybody else did it, he was like, oh, he's so calm and collected. If Van Dijk does that and gives the ball to Ali, I think the mistake would be on Ali because it's Curtis Jones passing that ball. Sometimes somehow it's Jones. But going back to this, I mean, like Tommy says, it's nothing new. We've seen it all season. What's going to that was my worry after the game. I listened to the press conference, even more upset. I'm like, what is going to change Friday? Like, I really can't look at Friday. Rio is a possibility, I guess, to start. But, like, what can possibly change? You still don't have Weirds. Do you expect, like, a totally different team going at it on Friday?
I'd love to see us attack it like we attack the Champions League games. Because we play differently in those Champions League games.
Yeah.
And we set up a little bit more. It looks a little bit more like 4-4-2 with a little bit of movement here and there. But I'd love to see us do that. Just treat it. It is a cup. Obviously, it's a cup game. We want to try and win something this year. Yep. We've looked pretty good when we've played like that, even against the likes of we battered Karabag in the last Champions League game. But just set up like that. Just something. It has to be something different because if it's the same, you would imagine the same sort of thing's going to happen again. Tempo, unless of course someone takes one of those chances, which can happen, but also can't happen because we've seen, like Tommy says, we've seen it all season. It's the same thing. We don't learn from that. We don't seem to be changing anything. So I'd love to see us go more like a cup, like a knockout game, which is what it is. And hopefully we change it up, even though we're playing the same team in the same place.
Solo isn't us. Good morning, man. Well, good afternoon to you over there, but that WhatsApp group, man, that's Solo knows what I'm talking about. Sadly, it's Solo's group, but yeah, I mean, talk about and that's what I hate. I've been fighting the negativity, and things were going good, and you can tell Solo knows what I'm talking about. It's really quiet in that chat when things are going good. It's almost like, people must be working today because nobody's commenting or saying anything. And it's like, but when it's going back, everybody must be fucking off because everybody's like constantly like texting and shit. And it's like, this guy sucks, that guy sucks. Yeah. But I watched that game yesterday. It was very frustrating. And I agree with you, Adri. You can't probably pick one thing, but because you can't pick one thing, as much as I sported like slots and I'm still slotting at least till the end of the season, I just don't know what can possibly change. In some ways, in fairness to him, people are like, he spent 400 million like in the off season. Well, 250 was not out there yesterday. And like one, because Isak is gone, Wirtz is gone. So they're not out there. So I look at the bench, and in some ways, I'm like, what can he change aside from, is it just the mindset, players wanting it more, being more aggressive, like Gary is saying? Because I don't look at the bench, aside from Rio. That's why people are just like, picking on Rio now. Nobody's saying Chiesa, because that one faded away. If Rio comes out and stinks it up a couple of times, we'll go back to Ramsey, who people have only seen him play like twice in their entire freaking life, but somehow he's the savior. We're looking at the bench for a savior, putting the Batman light up, but there's nobody to even look at the light. So what's going to change, like, to Friday, for example?
I mean, I think it's a matter, as you just said, of mindset. Slot needs to work with what he has. Period. Like, I was telling you, what is he going to do on the left? Who's going to put there? Right now, I don't see anyone better than Gakpo. And that's to say that. It's like,
yeah. Tommy just shivered when he heard that. So he just...
yeah. Even me, it's like, if we keep complaining and saying like no, that's what we have. That's the team that we have. That we cannot do anything else. Like, that's our starter. Our starters are those ones, except for Wirtz, But everyone else gotta do something inside of the pitch on Friday different on their freaking minds, because in the in the matter of like tactics, I don't think anything is gonna change, honestly. And it's just what we talked about this, the three of us too. We know they're not in like Slot deep inside knows that he's not asking for the Premier League. This is not his goal. We know that. So whatever he's doing right now, like towards the future, or whatever he's trying to get for us in the future. Oh my God. Um, I don't even know what to say because nothing is going to change for Friday. Nothing. It's just we have good days or bad days, period. You know, we have the same people, we have the same tactics, we haven't changed anything. And the declarations, the interviews, of the guys, of the players and the coach has been the same thing. So I'm just aferrada. I'm just hold to the hope of
Wait.
the
What was that? That was
future.
the Spanish lesson of the day. What did you say?
Aferrarse is like to hold. This is hope, and I'm
Okay.
holding my hope. It's
Aferrarse?
aferrarse.
Is that what it is?
Aferrarse. Yes.
You got to roll the R, Gary. So make sure you do that.
I'm going to work on that. I'll work on that for next week.
And I'm gonna try to be consequent of what I said before about Slot and what I think he's aiming for the team in the future and not on this season. I'm trying to be not a hater, just wait for next season and to end of the season in Champions League and cool down. Whatever it comes, it's welcome.
I think so. You know what the funny thing is? I was like, Matush was talking about this, and like, I don't want to bring back that into the subject, but it just showed up on my YouTube feed, probably because my TV is listening to whatever's being said inside the house as well as my phone and everything goddamn around in here. But because we were talking about the whole Jota thing and stuff like that, when I went into my YouTube black holes the other night, the Preston North End came up. The highlights of it in the beginning of the season where they had the Jota tributes and stuff like that. And I remember back in those days, we were kind of like what Adri's saying. We were like, whatever happens this season happens kind of a thing. But then obviously we've forgotten that. And I don't want to go back to that. I don't think it has anything to do with yesterday and stuff. But yeah, it just kind of like came to my mind. I mean, look, Scott says the solution is to sack Slots. Everything changes. I mean, I guess how we play might change, and it might be the new manager bounce and stuff. But one, I don't want an interim manager. I don't think you're not going to suddenly have Slots playing them different, Gary, because this is not FIFA where you can pause the game, change the formation, put 5 guys, and you're like, oh, look how they're playing. If this is what you've been working on. And here's another thing. There's something to be said about believing in what you're doing, because these guys, I mean, like, you coach teams. So if you're doing something and you're preaching it for the last 6 months, if you suddenly try to destroy that, it kind of destroys what you've been working on all these months as well. So you gotta fine-tune things. Even with the set pieces, he didn't say, which were horrific, by the way, yesterday. But even with the set pieces, he didn't say, yeah, we changed everything, that's why we're scoring. He said, yeah, we're just doing like minor tweaks. Because you don't want to tell the team, it's one of those like, forget everything you learned, about set pieces. We're going to do something different, because these guys have been working on stuff, whether we see it or we like it or not. So what is the solution, I guess? Like, what can be tweaked, knowing you're going to get Isak at the end of the month. Hopefully Wirtz next week. And Wirtz would make a huge difference. He would have made a huge difference yesterday, but I hate to put that performance yesterday on lack of Wirtz.
I think you know what I'd love to see, and this will never happen. And based on what I said before about Rio playing on the right, is there any chance we can play Salah on the left? He's left-footed. Is there any chance of that, or is it?
New trick, isn't it?
Is that too political? Is that too obvious? Like, is it? And here's my rationale, and see if anyone comes for me for this one. If you're talking about Rio being playing in front of a solid established right back, which could be Joe Gomez at this point. Yeah. And you want Salah playing with a dynamic, attack-minded left back. Can we not just do that? Can we not? Is it too much to ask to put Kirkes and Salah on one side and Rio and Gomez on the other side? So you've got the balance of solid versus dynamic winger, and then you've got old dog winger with dynamic fullback. I don't know. I'm just like, you know what? What is the worst that can happen? Or have we? And then two things happen, right? One, it's a little bit different. Two, Adri's happy because Gakpo's not playing now, and then we just see what happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just see, and what's the worst that can happen? Do you know what I mean? Like just try it. But I think your point about the adapting, and we're not going to see anything different tactically. I don't disagree with you because I don't think it is. But this might be something that we could maybe talk about, or someone can talk about down the line. Like, if you're a manager. And I've been in situations on, again, levels. I talk about levels all the time. I'm nowhere near the level of what they're at. But if you have a rapport with a team and you're doing something, say you're playing a certain system all season, and they're starting to show cracks that it's not working, and you try and you make changes. If you've got the buy-in from the get-go, from the team as a leader, the team will listen to you, because you could basically tell them up is down and they'll listen to you. A good leader will be able to lead people no matter what. And then if you can get them to buy in, then there's a chance they play the way that you want them to do. So making a change might not be as big of a deal if the leader can justify it. Now, again, not trying to bang the last drum, but I feel like Klopp would be able to do that, and other managers may have been able to do that. I don't know if Slot has got that in his locker where he has all the buy-in from the players, where he can make a sweeping change.
But has Klopp ever done that for us to say? I mean, we played the same exact way for the most part, regardless, right? To the point where he played midfielders as center back, not to change things.
We definitely did slow it down at one point. It wasn't as all singing, all dancing, guns blazing at one point. When we first came in, it was bonkers, wasn't it? And it was great to watch. But there was a time where he had to tone it back, and he held the reins a little bit more. And I think sometimes, and again, it's not major changes, but I think sometimes if you do that, you have to have the mindset or you have to have the sort of leadership quality for players who'll buy into it to make those changes. But sorry for going on there. In short, I think Salah should play left wing just so Gakpo doesn't play and Rio can go on the right.
That yesterday, I really thought that was going to be the substitution, because I thought, Mo was horrific yesterday. I know he got the goal, but yeah, it was pretty horrific yesterday. That's why I was really thinking it would be him, Rio coming with Gomez, because you knew Frimpong didn't have 90 minutes. It kind of made sense, but the only way, and then he did score the goal, so I guess you can justify to yourself and say it's still Mo Salah. He can change a game with one kick, which, he tied it up, to be fair. And then if he makes that pass on that counter, Adri, probably then we win the game too. The one that gets intercepted when it's on the way to Szoboszlai. Ryan says, Graven Mecca cannot play every game. When Viers is back, that can help. But Jones has been, I think it's been more best, probably one of the best young midfielders in the world. Here's my thing, though. Like, I love how people put, we're not holding up well at all, dude. We're holding up as much as McAllister is holding up. He kept falling yesterday. What was up with that? I hate when McAllister goes for dribbles into a cul-de-sac sometimes, and then he just collapses to get a foul, and it's just rarely gets it, unfortunately, because he's a little dude too. He rarely gets it. But oh man, Slot hate is I'll be honest with you, I find it hard to battle this morning.
Why does he have to bring Bald into it? Can you just say he's a fraud?
I don't know. Yes. Why is that? That's You want to see Bald frauds, by the way? Tune in tomorrow night or Thursday night podcast, where we have 4 of them on air for the Thursday night podcast. All 4 are bald somehow. You couldn't do that even if you wanted to. But hey, see, he says. When you make a joke that can be construed as racist, and you're like, it's okay though, because I'm from there.
Yeah, unbelievable. Polling couple, lots of answers for there.
That's attack. I'm in process. I'm loading over here.
Timucin, I'm going to fly back to Turkey next time. You go home and get my hair done, mate. That's it now.
You know what's funny? I was playing like I was talking about before we went on air. I was playing Call of Duty yesterday, and I joined the team. And my PlayStation ID, if you want to hit me up, by the way, is Turkish Stallion. And the dude was like, "Hey man, you got any coupons or connections for like a hair transplant?"
No.
And I'm like, man, if I did, I would go back and do it myself first. Holy cow! Is this like is this like one of these like freaking like a bald convention going over here in
Oh
the
my
chat? You're like,
God.
I'm bald as well. Okay, Friday. Honestly,
we have
watching
a
this Liverpool
balance
team,
here. We have a balance. I'm gonna do this like on
Thank-
there.
Perfect.
spread the wealth. Yeah, when you get haircuts, make sure you save that shit for us. Honestly, watching this Liverpool team, the ratio of bald people is probably increasing from pulling your hair to and from depression. So that's probably why the entire chat is bald as well. But okay, Friday, are we adding more bald people, Adri, or
Oh
is
my
this
God.
like a bounce back game?
I mean, I said nothing is gonna change. But I don't think that's gonna happen twice. I don't think so. I haven't seen Liverpool not trying really hard to make it up to us after a horrible game. So I don't think it's gonna happen twice. I don't think so. We won't see anything crazy new and amazing and a great game, but we've seen this team in a better behavior, you know. So I think
Better behavior.
it's just that yeah. Yesterday they were playing like little kids, like really like
Yeah,
like
it was, man, it was such an ugly
everything.
watch.
I still cannot believe that the Curtis and Gakpo situation wasn't a goal. That's like what are you doing? What are you
That's one of
doing?
those
What
where,
are you doing?
and I know Gakpo
Like,
got, of course, Gakpo got the blame for it, but I mean, really, to be honest with
no.
you, the only reason for that, and I guess I don't blame him, but you know, this is not gonna sound right, but I put my head in some dangerous places. I mean, Curtis doesn't want to stick his head in there, knowing it's kind of like a little low, but some crazy dudes would probably throw himself in there. I mean, all you have to do is like really throw
Yeah.
yourself in there and say, I know I'm gonna get knocked out. It's like, you know, I mean, for those of you on this side of the pond over here, it's like a quarterback. Sometimes you know you're going to get hit, but you're gonna have to let it go and hang in there one more second. I felt like that was one of those you just did not want to contact afterwards. But McAllister is expecting a lot of changes. Do we get a lot of changes, Gary, or do we send most of the same people out there and be like, you are better than this? Show
I don't know. I'd love to see us send a similar team down and hope that it was just, and Liverpool do the most Liverpool thing ever and just go down there after getting beat and then go and win 3-0. But we've got, are they going to have one eye on Galatasaray next week now? Is that, we put, but the FA Cup's great. Like I like the FA Cup. And I think when you get to this stage, you've got to think about winning it. So I'd like them to go down and give it a go. I hope they do. But you might be right. I don't know. You don't know what the thought process is because I don't think it's been announced yet.
Galatasaray is playing Saturday, but they are also postponing their game in between the two games because they were supposed to play against Besiktas, which is like a big derby, and they're going away. And also, I just found out that they will not have any away fans at Anfield because they're serving a ban from what they did when they went away to Juventus, because that's how Turkish fans roll. I mean, they were great, for example, at the Forest game. I mean, they were amazing. The away fans at that Forest Fenerbahce game were just freaking amazing. But then I saw pictures of how they left the stadium afterwards. And you know how they show pictures of like the Japanese team they left, they swept it up and, you know, like shined armor, all the chairs and stuff. Yeah. The Turkish fans kind of do the opposite. Unfortunately, they like destroy the thing over there. But okay, prediction time on our way out over here. Put your money where your mouth is, people. Audrey, give me a score prediction for Friday.
I am gonna go with a late winning a 2-1.
2-1. That sounds uncomfortable at best.
Yeah.
But I'll take the win. I'll be honest. I know you said, Gary, you like the FA Cup, and I know it means FA Cup means more to people in England than maybe to us over here, because to us it's just another version of the EFL Cup. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. We know it's slightly higher, but I know FA Cup history wise and stuff means more. But I'll be honest, if we were going for the title or something, I could not care less about that. Like if you were going for the title, I would have traded off yesterday's game for the weekend's game, for example. But it means more to me now because you got 2 trophies that you can get this season, and you gotta get something. Because McAllister is rotating the hell out of this place and putting like Neone. I think Ryan was putting Morrison and stuff in there. How much rotation and what do we get? Scott just wants Cody off. And I'm sure Tommy just wants Cody off. But how much rotation and what's the final score?
How much rotation? It's on to me. How much rotation? I'd like to think not much. And I think we'll win 3-0. Why not? Sack it. I got to stay positive. I have to. Got to stay positive. And the thing is, the Premier League, the Premier League's great, but we're not going to win the Premier League this year. So why can't we go and win the FA Cup? And I mean, I saw someone say something about money. We just made a ton of money. We're doing all right financially. Liverpool are in a good spot. It's not like Chelsea announcing pre-tax losses of 370 million. We're in a decent spot. I want trophies. Trophies mean more to me than money. At this point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the Champions League thing, I understand that. You got to be in the top 5 for longevity and long-term stuff. You don't want to be in a situation that like United was and stuff like that, for example. But yeah, it will be Chris says we have hardly anyone to rotate with. Yeah, I'm not too big on throwing a lot of young kids out there. And I kind of like the aspect of, because we're playing Friday, I think I would probably sing a different tune if we were playing Saturday or Sunday before the Champions League game. But because we're playing Friday, Galatasaray is playing Saturday, I would say throw the same people out there and be like, show you're better than freaking Wolves and see what they do. And hopefully you can start putting the game away early. Then you can introduce your younger guys and put Rio out there, Neone and stuff like that. But I'll go with the 3-1. And hopefully be optimistic and we get a win out of this. But you know who's going to be who's not going to be very optimistic is the Bald Crew. Thursday night, tomorrow night, 7:00 Central, 8:00 Eastern. All 4 of them will be here reflecting on the screen. So do tune in for that. Chat with those guys. Thanks a lot for everybody joining this morning.
Wait, a picture before we
picture of what?
try to smile, screenshot.
We have to smile?
I know what I did. 1 second.
You can't do both, Adri.
I know. Okay, ready. 1, 2. There you go.
2, 3.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, if you joined us this morning and if you're not smiling, what's wrong with you? But no, give us a follow, give us a like. We appreciate everybody hopping in the chat this morning. Have a great day. Hopefully this was some therapy for everybody. I know I needed it because now I got to freaking work. Not to mention I got to watch Fenerbahce in an hour, so life doesn't get any better for me. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you guys soon.
Everyone.
Take care.